Welcome to the beach, welcome to France, and welcome to the Ulti Show, WFDF's daily behind-the-scenes look at the World Championships of Beach Ultimate. I'm Brian Gisel, and I'm the chair of the WFDF Ultimate Committee.
And I'm Kaz Malone. I'm also on the WFDF board, and I'm deputy chair of the Sport for All and Development Commission. It's great to have you guys here with us, and as you can see, there's some games actually going on behind us, or will be shortly when the point restarts. These are two teams from the women's category, Russia and Germany. There's 1,700 actually players playing in this tournament this time. We've got 39 countries involved and more than 100 teams participating. Very amazing tournament. We've actually going to talk a little bit later about some of what we're going to talk about in the show and some of the new teams who are here for the first time.
We want to make sure that this show is as interactive as possible, so we're relying on you out in the Ultimate community who are watching the games to get involved. You can send us your questions or comments or suggestions by using Twitter and the hashtag #TheUltiShow, or you can go to the WFDF YouTube channel and leave comments and questions in the comments section.
So on this show, as I was saying, we're going to talk a little bit about the predictions, especially with the Ultimate Chair here, Brian. We're also going to do an interview with Pad Simmons from Kraft. We're going to talk about something special that we're seeing in these games that we haven't been seeing before in championships. And just first of all, a big shout out to the new teams. So we've got for the first time Guam, Turkey and Malaysia participating in a WFDF event. So remind us, Brian, how can they watch those teams?
So those teams will be online. We'll talk a little bit about the streaming later. We had a great time talking with those teams during the Parade of Nations. Some interesting information about them. So Guam, probably the smallest WFDF country. There's 175,000 people there, so not a lot of people to draw from. I talked with Nick and Jessica Toft from there. They're U.S. citizens who moved there in 2004, started Ultimate. And they did it in a great way. They didn't know anybody on the island. They got involved with sports that were already established there, rugby and soccer. Met a bunch of people and started pulling those athletic friends over to the sport of Ultimate. So they've been playing there for a while. They're very happy to be here. Talk with Malaysia. So Malaysia has been playing a lot of Ultimate and a lot of Beach Ultimate in Asia for about the past 5 or 6 years. They've had Ultimate in the country for around a decade, and they've got about 20 to 30 club teams around. So a good scene there, and a growing scene in Turkey as well. They have 200 to 300 players in Turkey, and they run about 4 or 5 events nationally. So that's they're looking to have a big growth period as well. So we welcome those 3 countries to their very first WFDF event.
Great stuff, guys, definitely. So first of all, we're thinking of doing some polls in these shows, and we're going to put some stuff on social media so you guys can vote in the polls. The first poll that we're going to kick off is about predictions, so watch out for that poll online and send us your comments, send us your responses, and we'll collate it and we'll tell you what the result is in the next show. Brian, in these championships, there are 21 medals up for grabs, right?
That's right.
A good strong 7 of those going to the US? What do you reckon?
Absolutely. It'll be, the question is not how many medals the US will win. In my opinion, they're going to win 7. I think it'll be a big disappointment for USAU if they don't. The question is, how many gold are they going to win? Okay. So beach, interesting thing about beach, the games are shorter. The wind makes things a little more unpredictable, so it's a little harder for the dominant teams to be dominant all the time. So I feel like they won't sweep here, but I think 5 gold medals and 2 of another color for USA is probable at the end of the week. After that, you start divvying up the last 14 medals, and you think a bunch of those are going to go to Canada and Australia, the 2 kind of other strongest nations that are here, with teams in every division. And then you start looking at who's going to pick up those last 7 medals or so. I'm thinking 7 are going to Canada and Australia. There's some teams that you might not expect that have been playing beach for a long time. The Philippines have been playing a lot of beach. Spain as well. Singapore might come in there, and a couple other teams that you don't see. Behind us, the Russian women are playing. They're very strong. They're winning this game right now. So I expect them to come in. Germany mixed should be in the mix for a medal in that division. UK had a tough day yesterday. They went 2-7 across all of their teams, a bit of a surprise. But I feel like they'll get in there, possibly for Open, possibly for mixed men's masters, and we may see other surprises as well. Some interesting things that happened in the results yesterday, just pointing to where Beach Ultimate is in the men's B division. New Zealand, Philippines, and Belgium are all 2-0. So those are teams we don't usually see at the top of the table. but they're there for that. In women's B division, Germany, France, and Great Britain are all 0-1. So again, the results maybe don't follow quite as along the lines as a grass tournament, which makes it really interesting.
Definitely. Well, now we can introduce someone who's very integral to the whole disc sport scene, and that is Pad Simmons.
Hi.
Welcome. He's from
Welcome,
Kraft.
thank you.
So Pad, we're seeing something in these games that we haven't seen before, and that is different colored discs. We've got yellow discs this time. Can you tell me why we're seeing that this time?
Okay, the Olympic, I should say the Beach Committee contacted Discraft back in the fall, asking us what we thought of using different colored discs for filming that might show up better. And what they did is they tested yellow, orange, and pink, as well as white. And yellow ended up being the most
The sort of clearest, or
the easiest to find in the sand.
Got you. Okay.
And so they decided to try out yellow in Australia at their beach championships. And so that is what they ended up using at this tournament. And it seems to be working out really well.
Fantastic. I mean, certainly when I watch the games, it does seem very clear to have a yellow disc, which is great. And it's always good to change things up if it works for the audience as well.
That is right.
One question I do have, though, is in the first opening game yesterday was fantastic stuff between Germany and France. We saw the disc seem to bend out of shape quite quickly and had to be replaced. What's going on with that?
Well, someone did fall on the disc, but the heat, it's really, really warm here.
Yeah.
And so heat absorbs with color. And so the more color you add, the higher temperature the disc actually is.
Okay. So you're going to have that as a result of the heat regardless of the disc, is
Correct.
what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, Pad and Discraft have been very kind with the development commission that I also work on, and we've actually managed to get a bunch of discs from you guys as well, haven't we?
Yes, we're trying to help WFDF grow as far as in getting more countries playing Ultimate. And so we have donated a lot of discs to WFDF, and we're doing a disc development program here at this event, hoping to give out a lot of discs to a lot of countries.
That's fantastic. And actually, talking of development, thank you to Pad. This has been quite a big year actually in terms of development for WFDF countries, because there are now 75 members, which is great news, isn't it, Brian? I mean, it's a key requirement of being part of the Olympic Games, essentially. So that's actually a big development push for us. Also on the Development Commission, we've had a record number of proposals of people sending projects in, asking for funding. We had nearly 40 this year, double previous years, which has made it quite difficult for us on the Commission to go through all of those quite excellent proposals, some of them, and decide who to give funding to. But very pleased to announce that we've decided to give it to 12 countries this year. So 12 countries are going to receive some form of support, either funding or discs or both. And more on those announcements will be coming on the WFDF website soon, so stay tuned for more information on that.
Yeah, and I must say that it's great. Both Kaz and I spent a lot of time working on those development bids, going through them, and it was fantastic to see so much interest around the globe in developing our sport for all disc sports, and it was great to see that 75 country number hit. And we're by no means stopping. That was a great road mark to get to 75, but we're already pushing past that, and I don't think there's any reason to believe that WFDF won't break 100 in the near future.
Definitely, good stuff. So just to remind people, if they want to be watching the live stream, so seeing all the games that are happening behind us, how can they go about doing that?
Well, this tournament is unprecedented in the amount of live stream coverage that we'll be having at the event. So there's over 120 games that will be shown in some way on an online platform. So this field behind us that we're seeing here, the games are wrapped up, but this was our main showcase field, and we'll get a lot of games shown on that. And you can go to live.w World Championship of Beach Ultimate, WCBU 2017.org, and you can catch all the live streams there. You can also see the standings and live scores. But we have two other fields as well. An organization called Fan Seat is filming field 2 and 3 and sending a bunch of other games out there. So you can go to fanseat.com and sign up. They have a 1-month free subscription, so you can sign up right now and be watching Ultimate all week from those fields as well.
And don't forget, of course, on the WFDF YouTube channel, there'll be shows like this and some other information and little snippets about what's going on as part of the games. And we're going to continue to keep you guys informed. So stay tuned for the next episode of The Ulti Show.
You bet. Welcome to the beach. We'll be here all week, and we hope to see you later.